This is my district community agency strategic plan for Monticello Middle School, and I will also complete the SWOT analysis. To start the SWOT analysis, starting with the strengths, the community and the students support the athletic programs very much. Everyone supports everyone, whether it's football, basketball, cheerleading, whatever it may be. There is a strong staff support, especially for new teachers. Everyone is willing to help everyone supports each other. The middle school also strongly implements the response to intervention program in the middle school, which has benefited the school very much. And lastly, the students are very good with using Google Tools and Google Classroom. As for the weaknesses, this first one is kind of a domino effect. The administration implements many new programs at one time, which then the teachers lose instruction time due to having to go to professional development, and then with teachers gone at professional development, the school has to get subs, which they can't afford. They can't afford because there is a limited financial resources in the district. Thirdly, there is a lack of flow with the students' technological use from the intermediate school to the middle school. The intermediate school teachers use Google Tools, Google Classroom, they're very involved with technology, and the middle school teachers aren't as familiar with that, or they don't even use Google Tools at all, which could be beneficial for the students, but in general the teachers lack technology use and knowledge. And lastly, there's a limited number of Chromebooks. For the students, the ratio is not 1-to-1, and the teachers tend to share Chromebook carts. As for the opportunities, there are many local churches that are very involved with youth and the students at school that can be very beneficial for the school to use. There is a college in town, so the students from UAM can be very beneficial for the school to use, and also Walmart. As for the threats, the students can transfer to Drew Central, which is also a public school in the town. If the students transfer, the school can lose even more money. Next, the teachers won't connect with the students if they can't interest them in learning. So the use of technology interests the students in learning, so the teachers need to be able to do that, or the students won't be interested. Lastly, the teachers get very frustrated when they can't be in their classroom teaching their students. If there is too much required professional development, that can drive teachers away, and we need good teachers that want to stay and teach our students. The vision of Monticello Middle School states that the school works collaboratively to establish a culture of high expectations and accountability for all, which we're trying to reach every single day using technology. So the identified problem or issue that we're going to discuss during this strategic plan is that the middle school teachers are not up to date with the amount of technology that can be utilized in their classroom. The use of Google Tools can be beneficial for them and especially for the students' education. The SWAT team will focus on enhancing the teacher's knowledge of the use of Google Tools and other technologies in the classroom. The community resources and agencies needed to complete this project is first the University of Arkansas at Monticello. There are many young students who know and use technology that could help our school out tremendously. Pauline Baptist Church is a very well-known church. They know a lot of people in the community. They reach a lot of people online through the internet and through social media. The Hampton Inn, they know how to reach people outside of the community and in the state of Arkansas. And lastly, Walmart can give us discounted prices on electronics that we're trying to use and implement and that we can afford. The plan for securing community resources and agencies. Step 1 would be to assign members of our committee to reach out to the different businesses that we just mentioned. Step 2 is the committee members will go out to each resource and try to convince them to help us out. Step 3, members will gather as much information from each resource that we talk to. Can they help us? Do they use technology that we're looking for? Do they have ideas that the school can use? Step 4 is everyone come back together and analyze the data that everyone received. Step 5 would be members will decide which resources will be most beneficial for the school, what will work, what won't work, what do we need to look into. And lastly, follow up with the resources to confirm their help in our school plan. Next, discussing the committee members and the key school community stakeholders. Starting with the staff, Kevin Hancock is the principal. He will be in charge of contacting Walmart and trying to get those discounted prices on the electronics we would need. Kenny Pace is the assistant principal. He will be in charge of reaching out to Hampton Inn and trying to find out what ways we can reach the outside of the community in the state of Arkansas. Kelly Rodriguez is an 8th grade teacher and the backup principal, and she will be in charge of reaching out to Pauline Baptist Church, and she knows a lot of people in that church and can find the right people to contact. Laura Chisholm is a 7th and 8th grade teacher. She will be in charge of reaching out to UAM and finding the right professors or students to help our school out to learn more about technology. She is a recent graduate from UAM, so that's a perfect fit for her. As for the family members, Michael Fakiri is a father of a 6th and 7th grader. He is also the local school or local doctor in the area, so he has a lot of influence on any businesses, so he will help out Kevin Hancock and Kenny Pace in contacting Walmart and Hampton Inn. The Birch family, the mother and father of a 6th and 8th grader, they are members of Pauline Baptist Church, so they will also know who to contact there. And Brenda Pennington, she is a 7th grade teacher but also a parent of an 8th grader, and she will assist Laura in reaching out to UAM. Laura is a little bit younger, Brenda Pennington is a little bit older, so getting both perspectives from a younger and older generation and finding what technology is best for the school. As for the community, Walmart and Hampton Inn managers will be the ones to discuss things with Kevin Hancock, Kenny Pace, and Michael Fakiri. Rob Leonard is the college pastor at Pauline Baptist Church, so he will be the one to contact. He might not know what technology to use, but he will be the person to go to, and he can find the right person for our school to contact. And lastly, Kim Wilkerson. She is a UAM education professor. She knows a lot about Google Classroom. She knows a lot about using technology in the classroom, so she can either help us out with learning new things, or she can find the right student to help us out with finding new technologies to use. The priority to student learning includes that students know technology. They were born in the 21st century, they grew up using it all the time, they're interested in it, so if we're using it, they're going to be more pulled in to use the technology and learn what we're trying to use with the technology. And also, the students will use it for the rest of their lives. They'll use it in college, they'll use it for their careers. So it's not just a now thing, it's a forever thing. Indicators of equity. Every student can benefit from using technology, whether they're black, white, brown, whether they're female, male, whether they're from the United States, can speak English, can't speak English, it doesn't matter. Everyone can learn from it. And with that, it allows differentiation. Everyone learns different, so technology can be used in a gazillion different ways. So technology is the perfect use for everyone. And there's endless possibilities to use technology. Promoting student achievement. Students can use the technology constantly, whether it's in their house, in their classroom, wherever it is, they will use it constantly. And new technology pulls them in. Like I mentioned earlier, they're interested in it. They want to use it. So if we're using it in the classroom, they'll want to use it and learn what we're teaching. And also, the state testing is completed on computers, so if the students are used to using computers, learning on it, taking tests on it, they will feel more comfortable and probably do better on state testing. As for the community and resources and agencies' roles and why we need them, UAM students that are young can show the teachers and staff the Google tools and other forms of technology that can be beneficial in our classroom. College-age students know new technology, so they can show us the new technology. Education students usually know Google tools a lot, and especially Google Classroom. And CIS students, which is Computer Information System, they could tell us other forms of technology that can be useful in the classroom. Pauline Baptist Church, they can show teachers how different technology can be used to reach people online and through social media. Pauline reaches many people through their online ministry, so they know forms of technology that can be used to reach out and communicate with people outside the school. Walmart can provide the school with discounted prices on electronics, whether that could be desktop computers, Chromebooks, iPads, whatever it may be, but getting those electronics at discounted prices will allow the school to offer the number of electronics they need for the students to learn and use technology in the classroom. The Hampton Inn will show us different ways to reach the entire state and just in general outside the Monticello community. This can allow the rest of the state to recognize Monticello and attract students and recognize the progress that we're making with technology. The fiscal resources needed, UAM, Pauline, and the Hampton Inn all need the technology that they want to show us. If they don't have any technology, they can't show us or help us at all. They will need their own equipment, especially if it's something that we don't have or don't use. They will need to be able to bring it to show us. And Walmart will need to offer their electronics that we need at the discounted prices for the school so that we can afford it. As for material resources needed, data must be collected. What technology does the school use? What do they not use? What do they want to use? What have they never even heard of? That data needs to be collected so that we can narrow down what we're trying to aim for. Once we get what we're learning, there needs to be a conference room for everyone to fit in, and we need the laptops or Chromebooks or whatever it is to learn the new technology on. That must be necessary to learn. As for the technological resources needed, news about the school searching for new technological uses must be sent out. It can be added to the school website, and especially it needs to be sent home to the parents, whether that be email or on paper. The plan for securing the fiscal, material, and technological resources that we need. First, the members will go to each resource to gain the information on the technology they use. They will also gather as much information about each technology and how they use it. Then the group will analyze which resources are necessary and best for the school. Then they will follow up with the decided resources. And lastly, they will assist those resources being used and getting to the school to show the teachers and the staff the technology. The laws and policies impacting this plan. Both of these are Arkansas Code Title VI. The first one is digital learning providers, and it states that the technology being used must be non-discriminatory. It has to demonstrate successful experience in furnishing the digital learning to the public school students. It has to meet or exceed the minimum requirement for the curriculum standards. You can't just to use it and the students not learn anything. It has to meet the curriculum standards. And it also utilizes qualified teachers, not just any random person, but qualified teachers. The second one is the digital learning environment that states that the quality digital learning with content and online blending, it has to be quality instruction. Digital content designed to meet the needs of each student, like the differentiation. Everyone learns different. That can be used with technology. Like I mentioned before, it meets or exceeds the minimum curriculum standards. And lastly, the infrastructure is sufficient to handle and facilitate the quality digital learning environment where it's safe to learn and the students are just being safe online. The major goals for this project is first, the school to attain partnerships with the resources they reached out to. The teachers and staff learn how to use Google tools efficiently and effectively in the classroom and school building. The teachers and staff learn other forms of technology to help benefit the students themselves and the community in learning and communication. The students learn in a more technological way that enhances their want to learn, and students learn to use technology that enhances their skills and prepares them for college and future careers. The objectives for this project, the short-term ones, include the school will reach out to the resources needed, the school will spread awareness to the staff, students, parents, and even the community that they're wanting to implement new technology in the school. Another objective is the resources being willing to send someone to show the school staff how to use the Google tools or other technologies efficiently, and the school receives discounted prices on new electronics for the students and the staff to use. As for the long-term objectives, students know how to use Google tools and other technologies that will help them stand out as college students and even help them get a job in the future. The teachers will be up to date with Google tools and other technology. The school will continuously grow with technology as the world changes with technology. Just like the beginning of the 21st century, there was barely any cell phones, and now look where we are with that and all the other technology. It's going to continuously change, so the school needs to continuously grow with it as the world changes. And lastly, the relationships with the resources will be strong so that they can help the school when they are in need in the future. Just building positive relationships with resources in the community. Key strategies for obtaining these short-term and long-term objectives. For the short term, having a luncheon with the resources trying to influence their decision and helping the school. Releasing news on the school website or other forms of social media, or adding it to the local news or local newspaper. Just being genuine and accommodating to those volunteers, assisting in showing the staff and the teachers the technology that they're trying to show us and help us use. Mr. Hancock could personally sit down with the Walmart manager to discuss those prices that we're trying to aim for. As for strategies for the long-term objectives, teachers will learn new technology, which in turn they will teach the students how to use those technologies, allowing the students to have an open mind when on projects when using these technologies, letting them be creative and express themselves. Teachers will continuously complete professional development on technology. Just like we mentioned, the world constantly changes with technology, so the teachers must constantly change with the technology. And lastly, stay in contact with all the resources to keep that positive relationship with them for future needs of the school. The results and outcomes we are looking for is first, that the students will be efficient with using Google tools and new forms of technology. Second, that the teachers and the staff will be efficient with using Google tools and new forms of technology. That's what's popular right now, so that's what we're aiming for right now. The school builds lasting relationships with those community resources, positively, of course. And lastly, that the parents will learn along with the students and the teachers, and that they will be up to date with the technology that their students and teachers are using, so they will also be able to communicate easily with their child's teacher and their school. So how the community will be informed of the results that we get after this. So each of the resources that the school used directly will be part of the process the whole time, so they will be constantly updated as the process goes on, how it's going, what's working, what they're struggling with, all that kind of stuff. For the rest of the community, it will be shown on the news station, it will be printed in newspapers, on the school website, and also they can use the new technology that they're using to show that they're using new things. And for the parents, they will receive either flyers or emails about the new technologies that their student is learning, and then once the new technologies are out, the parents will also be using those new technologies that the school is using as well. Lastly, how these results and outcomes will benefit the school and the community. As for benefiting the school, the students are more interested in learning when technology is involved, so if we're using it, they're going to be more interested. With students using more technology, they will be better prepared for college and be better prepared for future careers that they're interested in. Every single job career nowadays uses some form of technology. Also, the teachers will be up to date with recent technology to use while teaching. It won't be such, I want to say old school, but it's old school. And lastly, the school will be more efficient in communicating. A lot of schools do struggle with that, so learning new efficient ways with communicating with the community and parents will be very beneficial for both sides. As for the benefits of the community will be more aware of the school in general and what they're doing. The news will be able to easily get information about the school that they're trying to release and share with the public. And also, parents will be notified more efficiently with the use of technology. Students constantly lose their papers that they're supposed to bring home, so different uses of technology will make the communication side of school with parents and teachers much more efficient. And that is the end of my strategic plan.